Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And I am super excited for our guest today. Why? He's going to be talking to us about money and investing, right? And I'm not going to give too much away right now because when he actually had the conversation, we were having it offline, right? And he was telling me and explaining to me what it all means, what it consists of. I was absolutely blown away. I knew I had to have him on this podcast. And so please welcome to the stage Owen O'Malley. Oh my goodness, Owen, I am super excited to have you here.
Thank you very much, Kay. Great to be here with you.
Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, right, I would love for you to share with our audience today a little bit about your journey because I'm sure you didn't just wake up one day and all of a sudden you had this business, you had this entire system that worked for you, making you passive income. I'm sure there was a journey behind that, right?
Yes. So my journey began in 1993 with Tony Robbins. I did his very first UK seminar, and at that seminar, he upsold me to what's called Wealth Mastery, which we did in 1996. 24 of the wealthiest people on the planet distilled their decades of knowledge and experience. And over those 6 very powerful days, we learned the concept that money must work for us rather than us work for money. They very much encourage us to get involved in an investment club where we meet once a month and brainstorm how we can master the market, as it were. So I traded the stock market for 2 years part-time alongside my day job. My background was science. My profession was salmon farming, fish farming. And after 2 years of trading part-time, I was able to leave my day job. And just by word of mouth, people said, "You're crazy. You're giving up a big salary, a company car, a pension. Why are you giving it all up?" And I said, "Well, I can make more money part-time in the market, be at home with my young children." And they said, "Well, how does it work?" I said, "Well, let's form an investment club. We'll meet once a month." We put in something small back then. Even before the euro, it was 55 punts, which is the Irish currency before the euro, into a kitty. We meet once a month around the table, and I'll show you how it all works. And one investment club became 10, became 100, became 1,000. One country became 50 countries. One language became 15 languages. And so to this day, that's what we do, is we inspire people to learn how the market works. We have three types of people: people that want to learn how to do it for themselves, which we help and teach and educate; people that want to work with us in partnership and leverage our years of experience now; and then we've got high net worth individuals that want us just to do it for them. They don't want to go down the rabbit hole of how it works. And we serve those clients as well. We're very unique, Kay, in that we don't charge management fees or setup fees. We just do a percentage of the upside. So it's a win-win relationship. The client must win first before we can win.
Absolutely. I love that. And that's one of the things I absolutely love when you're telling me that you do things as a collective.
Yes.
So you work together as about teamwork and putting your all together to make sure that everybody is successful. This is awesome. Would you be able to share with our audience a little bit more about what that actually means?
Yeah, so an investment club is like, to be more specific, a consortium is a group of people that were very flexible with the amount of money they put in and very flexible with the time. It can be very active or very passive. It can be as little as 1 or 200 a month, or it could be lump sums of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K. Like last night, we had our club meeting of the Invincibles. There's over 90 members in that. They're up to over $800,000 now. And some members are just putting in the bare minimum, a couple of hundred a month. And some guys have thrown 40, 50K into it. And what's beautiful about our opportunity, K, if you rang up a regular broker and you said, "I want to get involved in the stock market, but I can only really afford 100 or 200 a month," they would immediately put the phone down because you're a waste of time and space for those people. So we help a lot of people leverage. I always say, it's like if somebody joins the Invincibles Investment Club, it's a big 800,000 snowball with a big surface area, and loads of snow can stick to it every time it turns. And your little snowball of maybe 4 or 5K is benefiting from the big snowball. And so it's a great way to leverage your money and your time in a group, in a very safe and supportive environment.
Absolutely. I love that. And the other thing I love about it is when people start talking about the stock market and trading, it
Mm.
absolutely scares people.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and all of a sudden you go down this whirlwind of, oh no, that's not for me. That's really risky. Like, only
Yeah.
people like Warren Buffett can do things like that. I can't do it as an average person, right? But
Yeah.
that's a misconception, isn't it?
It's a pure misconception. So what we do for people is we demystify the market. We assume that everybody who joins us knows absolutely nothing. We start from that place and we build it up slowly over time. So to be successful in the stock market only requires three simple things. One, only buy the strongest companies in the world, which we do. Two, only buy them when they're great value, which we do. And the third thing and the most powerful thing is to make sure you rent your shares every month. And people might say, rent, what do you mean by rent?
Right.
Most people don't know you can, if you own a share and it belongs to you, it's your asset, and you can literally offer it for sale every month. And in exchange for that, you get an income today. And so it is not difficult, and everybody's welcome to join Investment Club as an observer, not even commit yet, just be at the club meeting as a fly on the wall, see how it all goes, look at some previous recordings. And you can start, as I say, dip your toe in the water. Like we have one client, you won't believe this, Kay. He joined the Invincibles, put in 200 a month for 5 months in a row, and on the sixth month said, I've got 1 million. I want to now start my own account. So you never know how much people have.
Wait,
But he,
he generated 1 million?
no, he had 1 million available to invest, but he wasn't willing to risk the million at the beginning.
Right.
He dipped the toe in the water first with 200 a month for 5 or 6 months in a row, and then once he saw the system working, he was confident to put the big money in. So anybody can dip the toe in the water with us and see how it works first in a small way before they go with bigger money if they have bigger money to invest.
Absolutely. Now, with something with like this, right? It must be really complicated to get your head around.
It looks complicated on the outside, but I always equate it to, it's like learning to swim or learning to ride a bicycle. Initially, it seems very difficult to be able to swim or difficult to ride a bicycle, but once you have that skill, you have it for the rest of your life. And this is no different. By being in an investment club and being in that safe, supportive environment, and by seeing the trades every month on a Zoom call once a month, just by a process of repetition, you get to understand it. So yeah, you eventually will understand it. So don't. The number one thing that holds people back is I was no good at maths at school, or this is,
Right.
this is beyond me, or it's okay for Warren Buffett, but it's not okay for me. It couldn't be further from the truth. Everything is learnable, everything is teachable. So yeah, just jump into an investment club and learn to swim.
I love that. Now, you mentioned that you don't need much money to start off with,
No.
right? But then you must be able to, have to take so many hours a week to learn how to do this stuff, right?
Now, 1 hour a month is all you need. To join an investment club, you put in 200 a month, 1 hour a month of time. And if you understand the power of compound interest, 2% a month growth, you have a simple plan. So anybody watching this podcast, just take down a piece of paper and write this down. 200 a month at 2% a month will get you to 1 million in 20 years. So that's your plan to become a millionaire.
And that's absolutely at a bare minimum. If you want to put more in, you can do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, 400 a month or 4% a month gets you there in 10 years. And the average performance of our all our different investment clubs, corporations, consortiums, clubs, pension funds, the average is 4% a month. So to say 2% a month, 2% a month adds a zero to your money every 10 years. So for every dollar you invest today, if you can do 2% a month, you'll have 10 in 10 years' time. So if you want to, if you're starting with like 10 grand,
Yeah.
in 10 years you could have 100 grand, and then in another 10 years you've got 1 million. That's 2% a month. And like I say, we do more than 2% a month. So it's just the power of compound interest. It's so fascinating. It kind of is like a hidden giant. It's a sleeping giant. If you look at a 10-year period, the first 8 years are kind of flat, and then the last 2 years it goes parabolic. That's just the power of compound interest.
Wow. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking, they listen to this episode and be like, do I need to have a background in finance? Do I need to have a background in
No.
stock or something? Like,
No, I mean, I'm living proof of that. My degree was environmental science. My profession was salmon farming, and I knew nothing about this, but I just went to a 6-day course with Tony Robbins, Wealth Mastery, and I learned it. So it doesn't matter your age, your background, your creed, your culture. You join an investment club just by a process of osmosis. You will pick it up by just observing the club meetings every month.
I love that. I love that. Now, is everything that you do with regards to the stock market done in US dollars, or is it done in British pounds?
Yeah, I mean, we like the Invincibles last night. We were looking at their treasury report. So some people invest Danish kroner, British pounds, euros, Aussie dollars. It all goes into one club bank account that belongs to everybody. It's like everybody owns a share of the club bank account and the club trading account. And so, yeah, it doesn't matter what currency. And we use a company called VFX PLC in London, they're the currency exchange desk for Royal Bank of Scotland and Barclays Bank. And so we get a very favorable exchange rate because they buy millions of dollars every day, and we piggyback on their volume to get a extremely good exchange rate.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so that means it doesn't matter where you're based, what country you're in, it still works.
Yeah, it does work. Just to be clear for anybody listening to this, because I know it's going to go out internationally, there are about 10% of the world are perceived as like naughty countries,
Oh,
that you can't trade the US market. The US just won't let you trade if you're from, like, say, Russia, Syria, Iran, the naughty countries they call them. So there is a naughty list. So about 90% of the world can trade with us, 10% is off limits.
interesting. Okay, and so you already mentioned some of the kind of misconceptions, right? And some of the kind of, I guess, fear that people have is all a mindset thing, right?
Your
What,
mindset.
what are the most common things that keep showing up, apart from what you've already mentioned, again and again, whether people are first joining or they're on this journey already, right? What are the things that keep coming up and you're like, nope, that's absolutely not true?
Yeah, I guess the thing that people need to learn is to think long term. That's the biggest.
Ah,
They want to become a millionaire overnight, and it doesn't
wait,
happen.
you can't do
No, no.
Owen.
Unless you want to do something illegal, like, I don't know, drug dealing or something like that. But no, every single investor. I mean, if you read Tony Robbins' book called Money Master the Game, where he interviewed 50 of the wealthiest people on the planet, all of them, like, I'll give you a real example. Warren Buffett is the most successful investor on the planet. In fact, next month we're going to see him at his AGM again. We've been to him about 10 times in the last 20 years. At age 14, he's worth $5,000. At age 30, he was worth $1 million. So it took him 16 years to become a millionaire, and
Wow.
then it took him another 25 years to become a billionaire. And now today he's worth 130 billion, and he's 94 years of age. So even the most successful investor in the history of the planet took him 16 years to be worth $1 million.
Wow.
This is not a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
It's get rich steady.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how old do you have to be at a minimum age, right, to get into the stock market?
Yeah, to legally own a trading account in the US, you need to be 18. That's the legal age. However, we do have loads of children in our investment clubs, and the way it works with children is that their parents or aunties or uncles, uh, the assets are in the name of the auntie, the uncle, or the parent until the child becomes 18. And then
Ah,
once the child becomes 18, we do the paperwork for them, and then they take ownership of the assets then.
oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're getting the education, they're getting the know-how, right?
Yeah.
Which means, oh my God, they've got such an advantage here, right? They're
Massive,
right.
massive. I taught my son when he was 6, and he's been trading real money since he was 8 years of age. And when
Oh
he
my,
graduated from college, he walked straight into a top finance job. He's part of a team now at Malta managing over $5 billion dollars of assets, and he walked straight into that job out of college because when they interviewed him, they could see that he had 14 years of real experience in the market.
wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a game changer for all parents out there, right?
Absolutely. If you teach your kids, and we teach all kids under 18 for free, if you teach your kids for free, they will become financially independent. They won't be a drain on you financially. So it's a very smart thing to get your kids educated really early in how this all works.
Right. And it's okay to educate your kid, even if you don't want to learn about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The last seminar we had there in London in March, we had a kid there. He's about 15, and he was brilliant. He was learning way faster than the adults, and
Ah,
yeah, you can send your kids along. And to that end, our next event is in London on the 21st to the 23rd of June in Heathrow Terminal 5 at the Sofitel Hotel. So yeah, if anybody wants to join us for that event, you're welcome to.
oh, okay. So I wanted to get to that point because you educate people a lot, right? Because
Yes,
there is
yeah,
huge misconceptions around this, and so
yes.
you do events. So tell us a little bit about what's covered in this event, because I'm assuming it's just kind of getting your feet wet at the moment,
Yeah,
right?
so Fridays dip your toe in the water. So we meet Friday, even the 21st of June, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we basically that is the only time during the whole weekend that the stock market is still open, because 9 o'clock in the UK is 4 o'clock in America. So for those 4 hours, you're going to see real live trades going through. You're going to get the headlines of how we pick a company, why we pick it, and how we actually make money. So you see the rent collection. So you see all the action on the Friday. Saturday, we go into more detail of how you actually identify quality companies and how do you know when they're good value to buy. and how to read charts and read patterns. And then Sunday, we go down the rabbit hole of exactly how the renting works, how call options work, put options, dividends, all that income capturing side of it. So yeah, it's a very comprehensive 2.5 day event, and people love it.
Oh my goodness. Now, when you mention all of that, it sounded a little bit technical. Is it very technical, or is it just learning the jargon?
No, it's not. It's not really, because we break it down to really simple steps. It's
Mm,
the biggest challenge is the mental side of it, is the belief in yourself.
right.
And to that end, let me just plug my partner's book. It's called My First Million. It's written by Anna Rodriguez, who I think you've interviewed Anna.
I
And
have. I've interviewed her, and I'm still getting through her book, and the book is mind blowing as well
it's
because
brilliant because it talks about psychology as well.
yes, right, the spirituality, psychology, like the
Yes,
money, right? It's all
yes,
together. And what I love about it is she puts it in really simple, basic language, right?
yes,
Anyone can understand. So
yes,
that is mind blowing as well, right? And I'm like turning the pages. I got to get to the next thing. Gonna get to the next thing. Gonna learn the next thing, right? So you
yes.
don't want to put it down, but it's an
So now you've got a flavor of what our seminars are like. Our seminars are exactly the same. We keep it very basic, very simple.
awesome. Okay. Oh, I like that. And you said it's a 2 day seminar. Is that
Two
right?
and a half days.
Two
Yeah.
and a half days, right?
Yeah.
And it's always in London, or are you doing this international?
No, we did 4 in Derby there, and then we just moved down to London because most of the we did Derby because people were coming from Edinburgh down to Derby and Brighton up to Derby. But now most of our members, we've close to 1,000 members in the UK, so most of them are concentrated in the southern part of England. So for the next few quarters, we're going to be doing London events.
Oh, fantastic. So you do this every quarter?
Yes.
Yeah, once a quarter. Okay. And in fact, you actually live in Ireland, isn't that right?
Yes, we live here in the northwest corner of Ireland. Yeah.
I still need to get to Ireland at some point. I haven't
Yeah.
been there yet,
And
but
more than one too many times. Yeah.
I'm glad that you're coming over to London to do these seminar. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And in fact, you're coming to spend the weekend in London, aren't you? At some point?
This weekend now, yeah, we're just about to hop on a flight and to go to Luton. We're part of BIP 100, which is a networking group, and they have their Easter party. And then one of our friends is having a party on Saturday. So 2 parties we're going to.
Oh my goodness. Well, why not? Once you've been working hard and doing all this trading and helping so many others, you need a break yourself,
You
right?
do, for sure.
Awesome. Now, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience that we haven't already mentioned?
The most important thing to share with your audience, for those of you watching or listening to this podcast, is that I know in my heart and soul that you can do this, and I know you can be very successful because I've helped thousands of people all over the world in 50 different countries. And it truly doesn't matter if you left school really young, if you were no good at maths, if your teacher told you would never be any good at anything. That's just their beliefs. It doesn't have to be your beliefs. And we believe in you. You'll give up on you before we'll give up on you. Once you get into a safe, supportive environment, you will be taken care of and you'll be carried along. So don't let you stop you from being financially free from the market. It is learnable and it is something that you can definitely do.
I love that. I love that. Now, I know at this point, Owen, people are thinking, oh my goodness, how do I learn more, right? How do I get in contact with Owen? How do I find out how to register for the event? Like, where can people go?
The best thing is just to send Anna an email, ANA with one N, ANA at TICN.ie, and Anna will start the journey. Anna will find out what level you're at, how much money you have to invest, what's the best club for you. You will be invited to observe a club first before you actually join it. So it'll be a gentle process of onboarding. And if you decide you want to go ahead, she'll help you with all the onboarding process. Make sure you legally own your share of the club assets in the club bank account and the club assets in the club trading account as well.
Oh, awesome. And she'll also be able to give us dates on when the future events will be.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So definitely the event we know for sure is 21st, 22nd, 23rd of June in Heathrow Airport, Terminal 5. And the next event will probably be September, October time, but we'll be back onto people when we've picked a date.
All right, brilliant. Oh my goodness, Owen, thank you so much for coming onto the show. It was awesome having you here. So many golden nuggets in such a short amount of time. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Kay. You do a wonderful job. I love your energy.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much. And I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.